Yo, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Gerald, how son of these children to Enlightening Minds Enterprise Wolfpack representative. Mr. Shift Your Perspective. Live and let live. Hey, how does it feel, man? D'Angelo, instrumental, karaoke. Always try to have some type of vibe in the background, you know what I'm saying? Because it really helps me get in my momentum. But this right here talk is titled People's Perspective of You. People's perspective of you. I wrote perspection, but perspective of you. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday evening, and it was explained to me certain things about me, right? And the way it was being explained was how this perception of me, this conclusive perception of me in this particular area, it was explained as though it was a fact. It was explained as though it was true and it was factual. And beyond that, it was explained in a way as though I was supposed to embrace and accept that person's perspective. So after about 30 minutes of somewhat debate, conversation, and basically a lot of going back and forth and really emphasizing trying to get, the individual to listen to understand me. Listen to understand me. Man, we just don't understand how key that is to communicating when we're talking about harmony and chemistry between people. Listening to understand me. It's like, why are we even talking if you're not listening to understand me and vice versa? Why are we even communicating? What is all this about? You know what I'm saying? So people say things like, you're putting too much on it, or you're, you're taking it too serious, you're making a big deal over nothing. I mean, we have to understand that anytime we project our personal conclusion, analysis, observation, whatever, on someone, honestly, for the most part, it's solely an opinion. It's solely an opinion. And then from that point, it may be a perspective, an opinion, an observation, an assessment. And even if what I say about you is based on some school of thought, right? Some source of authority, the law book, some book of psychology, and you fit all these different symptoms and characteristics that this book say, and according to this book, this is your symptom. This is what you are. I'm going to tell you something. If I accept this book as a fact, but you don't, it doesn't make what I'm saying right and correct. And it doesn't make, just because you don't accept it, incorrect. We follow different schools of thought, and we choose to do that, I would say, consciously. I'm learning as I travel down this journey, which we call life, that perceptive piece, that how I see it, how you see it, I've learned this, I studied all this over here, and as a result of what I studied, I found all this out, and I'm going to tell you, it's a bunch of morons out here in the world. I mean, some of us take that position. Man, the more I travel down this journey as a student of life, I find that the biggest majority and bulk of our problems socially, and when I say a problem, I'm saying the reason why we are so divided. The reason why there's so much disharmony, the reason why there's so much violence, the reason why, I mean, you know, so many people are really unhappy and so-called antisocial as a result of other people is because of this opinionative, perceptive piece. Even truth, even what we call truth, at the end of it all, when you go down all these different paths, open up all these different doors to confirm your truth, guess what? At some point, you have to say, it's what I choose to believe. Because at some point, you have nothing else to rely on to point to me and say, it has to be a fact. It has to be the truth because of this and because of that and because of whatever. At the end of the day, it's a belief. And let me tell you, man, the reason why I feel and think this is important is because there's something internally in me that strongly believes and say that the human race was not created to be divided. We wasn't created to just be killing each other out of a difference of perception, out of a difference in opinion, out of a difference in belief. But because of this thing that we call knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, there's a lot of separation, dissension, disrespect, inconsideration. And I'm gonna tell you, even though I'm using these terms, all these terms are even relative. And if you know, not to insult anyone, but according to this English language that we've accepted to use as a way of talking to each other to establish an understanding, the term relative is a term that has a definition. Whomever created the term and gave it its definition, and we accept it. If you don't understand truly and totally what the term relative means, go look it up. I say that because don't assume that you understand what relative means. Because a lot of perception and opinions and all that is relative. If I say you're stupid, I'm saying that versus something that I consider to be a bit more intelligent or smarter than you. If I say you're slow, if I say you're fast, if I say that you're taking things too serious, if I say that you play too much, if I say that you're weak, if I say you're strong, all those are relative ideas and it's my personal perception. And it is versus something that is opposite of what I'm calling you. Even what I have relegated or applied to myself is relative. And it is only as significant the idea is only as significant really as it is for me. It's only as significant as I give it. You know, this is titled People's Perspective of You. I say, we really need to work on, man, being more mindful. I mean, only for those who care. If you don't care, give a damn. If you don't care, give a damn. Pardon me for a second. I'm sorry, y'all. If you don't care about your relations with others, which I believe you do. I believe it is a part of our nature. I do. This is my belief. And if you fit into that category of individual who believe that as well, then it is imperative that you become more mindful of your view, your perspective, your opinion, and the way you project it on people. See, it's one thing for a person to ask you what you think. But it's another thing for you just to offer it out, to feel some kind of way about your perspective and view of me, and then act as though I'm supposed to accept it as mine. I've been told I'm too serious. I've been told I think too much. That's your perspective of me. But that don't make your perspective accurate. It don't make it a fact. It don't make it right. I have a perspective of you too. And it's probably the opposite of what you have of me, considering what you say about me. But considering how different we are, considering how we view the world and view things, I'm sure our perspective may differ in regards to how we think. However, you might not hear my perspective about you unless you ask me. You may not hear my perspective about you because I understand for myself, that's just the way I see it. It don't make you wrong. It don't make anything wrong with you. Because someone else, many others, may differ. And you may be the best person in the world to them. You may be the smartest person in the world. You may be the fastest. You may be the strongest, whatever. Anything opposite of what I said, you may be the total opposite of what I said to them about you. People's perspective of you. Be mindful of that. Peace and blessings.